welcome to Liberty World News at 7. I am Halima Abdulrauf. In the headlines, federal government deploys apps to monitor ministers' performance. Ganduji to be arraigned in Kano on bribery charges. And Discos blame TCN for inability to supply 20 hours of power. Under foreign sin, South Africa's ex-president Zuma wins court bid to run for election. And on sports, Nigeria to miss event, a Spanish embassy denies future Eagles visa. Details of this and more will come to you in the bulletin. President Bola Tinubu has approved the establishment of the National Health Fellows Program with young Nigerian fellows to be engaged in all the 774 local government areas in the country. This was disclosed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale. He said the President approved this in his determination to comprehensively upgrade existing primary healthcare centers and construct over 8,800 new primary healthcare centers across all local government areas in the country for accessible and qualitative healthcare delivery with the provision of new social accountability mechanisms. According to Ngelale, the well-trained fellows will serve as fiduciary agent to monitor and track primary healthcare center development and performance, which is to be assiduously measured against all financial inflows to the centers nationwide. The fellowship program will be domiciled in the sector-wide approach coordination office under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. The fellows will be recruited, remunerated, and equipped with appropriate tools to track the performance of basic healthcare provision fund-supported health facilities across the nation. And meanwhile, the stage is set for ministers to present their scorecards on the delivery of ministries on the 8 priority areas of President Bola Tinubu. Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman, dropped the hint on in Abuja. She said the ministers were told by the President that they will undergo compulsory quarterly assessment to rate their performances in line with the identified priority areas. Therefore, Tinubu's administration has designed and released a Citizens Delivery Tracker app to monitor the performance of ministers and their portfolios. She said Nigerians can use devices to give feedback to the government on policies, programs, and projects. The implementation of constituency projects allocated to senators and House of Representatives members are to be assessed to. Hadiza Bala Usman, who spoke at the Go Live event of the Citizens Delivery Tracker, restated President Tinubu's commitment to an open and transparent government in the larger interest of the nation. And the Kano High Court will on April 17, 2024 arraign the immediate past governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduji, on charges bordering on allegation of bribery, diversion, and misappropriation of funds, including the purported acceptance of 1.38 billion naira in bribes. The Kano State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice Haruna Devi, who confirmed the development, said Ganduji would be arraigned alongside wife and 6 others. The Kano State government, which initiated the criminal suit against the 8 respondents, has declared its readiness to present 15 witnesses to testify before Justice Usman Naapa of the State High Court, number 4. DDV further highlighted the significance of accountability in governance, remarking doesn't understand is that you cannot run away from the evil day. It will definitely come to you, and this will even serve as a deterrent to all of us that are also in government now. The Commissioner also addressed the jurisdictional aspect of the case, asserting and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is probing 50 bank accounts as it recovered 30 billion naira in the alleged scandal in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. The EFCC chairman, Ola Olukede, who disclosed this in an interview published in the March edition of EFCC Alert, an in-house magazine of the anti-graft agency, also called for special courts for corruption cases. Olukwaide, in their publication, said the recovered fund was in the federal government's coffers. He ordered that the EFCC is currently investigating alleged scandals in the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry involving the suspended minister, Betaidu, predecessor Sadia Umar Farouk, and Halima Shehu, the national coordinator of the National Social Investment Program, an agency under the ministry. Meanwhile, there is a significance of opinion on when to celebrate Eid al-Fitr in Nigeria this year. And the Sultan of Sokoto, who leads the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, declared Wednesday, April 10th, as Eid based on reports of no moon sighting in Nigeria. However, a prominent Sokoto cleric, Sheikh Musa Lokwa, disagreed. He claims the new moon was sighted in the neighboring Niger Republic and led his followers in Eid prayers on Tuesday. Lokwa argues that Nigerians shouldn't solely rely on Saudi Arabia's moon sighting and should consider reports from closer neighbors. This disagreement reflects a broader issues within Nigerian Islam, where moon sighting methods sometimes vary. Eid al-Fitr typically marks the end of Ramadan, but the exact dates can differ based on moon sighting. And there are reports from America that the moon sighting would not really be seen easily in Africa, and it should be looked forward to in other continents, not in Africa per se, because of the time zone. And as the blessed month of Ramadan draws to a close, stating that today is the last day, inshallah, Muslims around the world prepare to observe Zakat al-Fitr, a form of charity given to the less fortunate people before the Eid al-Fitr celebration that's coming down from the masjids. This obligatory act of giving holds immense significance in Islam, symbolizing purification and gratitude for the blessings received throughout the months of fasting. Liberty News correspondent Abubakar Sadiq Galadima completes the story.
Zakat al-Fitr serve as means to purify one's wealth and provide assistance to those in need, ensuring that everyone can partake in the joyous festivities of Eid. Renowned Islamic scholar Ahmad Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi explained that this obligatory contribution must be given before Eid prayer, making the conclusion of the holy month of Ramadan. According to him, by fulfilling this act of charity out of love for Allah, believers demonstrate their devotion and generosity towards those in need.
Zakat, which is given out on the day of the Eid celebrations. The wisdom behind it is that there should not be any Muslim a day of celebration, day of happiness, should be asking or begging people for food. That is the wisdom behind it. But this particular Zakat al-Fitr is meant specifically for that day of Eid, that nobody should be hungry. Nobody should be asking, nobody should be begging, because it's a day of happiness, and we don't expect a day of happiness for some people to be staying there the whole day without food.
He also elaborated the guidelines and calculations involved in giving out Zakat al-Fitr, providing clarity on the process and ensuring that the charitable donation is distributed in accordance with the Islamic principles.
Okay, it's very easy. You have a man of medium height who will have a handful of the staple food of the region. Give out 4 of the handful of it, which is called the sa. It's for every soul.
In his address, Malam Aminu Abdullahi Yusuf emphasized that Zakat al-Fitr should be directed solely to those who are in need, underscoring the importance of ensuring that the charitable donation reach its intended recipients.
So if we remove it, we are going to give the needy, those who are not have the food to eat, that the miskin, masakin. So that's the categories of whom are collecting this type of zakat. Zakat al-Fitr is only for the miskin.
As families come together to offer their contributions, the spirit of generosity and solidarity permeates communities, reinforcing the values of empathy and support for less fortunate. Through the collective observance of Zakat al-Fitr, Muslims reaffirm their commitment to social justice and caring for those in need. The donation typically consists of staple food items such as grains, dates, or money equivalent to their values, and is distributed to the deserving recipient in the community. Abubakar Sadiq Galadima, Liberty News.
Ahead of Eid al-Fitr celebrations tomorrow, the Department of State Services, DSS, has advised Muslim faithfuls to be vigilant at prayer grounds. Spokesman Peter Afinaya urged Nigerians to report any suspicious activity to security personnel. He assured the public that the DSS is collaborating with other security agencies to ensure a peaceful Salah celebration. The DSS extended Eid greetings to the Muslim Ummah, congratulating them on completing Ramadan fast. Afinaya emphasized the importance of peace, harmony, and generosity during the festivities. The DSS concluded their message by wishing Nigerians a peaceful and joyous Eid. And the National Human Rights Commission has decried the spike in violation of children's rights. This was expressed through Ogbonna, Human Rights Advisor to the Executive Secretary of the Commission at the presentation of the third edition of the agency's dashboard data for the month of March. Now the report.
The dashboard is a monthly analysis and graphical presentation of the human rights situation in Nigeria, while the observatory is the monitoring, reporting, and analyzing the human rights violation. Presenting the report, Ogbonna lamented that the Commission recorded a total of 339 cases of child abandonment in February, while March had a total of 542.
At the human rights core violators in March 2024, the public sector actors continue to feature, but troublesome is that parents constitute 90% of the violations of the rights of their children. In March 2024, the National Human Rights Commission received 1,580 complaints. Out of this, across the states of the Federation, out of these complaints, domestic violence accounted for 471. If you have followed us from January, you will know that domestic violence is a major issue that keeps reoccurring, and we are going to see that on
the report on the violation of children's rights for the month of March as worrisome.
No greater duty than the protection of children who are mostly exposed to various forms of human rights violations, ranging from freedom to go to school without being in fear, being able to eat, being able to be clothed, having the opportunity to develop without fear to be developed at that age. We have the horrible cases of Chibok, to the unheartening stories of Bununyadi. We have the stories of the Dapchi kidnappings, and now to Chikun. And we are really concerned because these attacks on school children violate a plethora of national, regional, and international human rights obligations to which Nigeria is not only a party, but has enacted constitutional and legislative frameworks to protect these rights.
Similarly, Babatunde Ajala, human rights advisor in the Embassy of Switzerland in Nigeria, also lauded the Commission for the initiative and called for a remedy to the number of rights violations.
Minority leaders of the House of Representatives, drawn from all opposition parties, have disowned 60 lawmakers who on Monday called for the resignation of the People's Democratic Party's acting national chairman, Umar Iliya Damagum, for alleged anti-party activities. The 60 parliamentarians under the auspices of the coalition of opposition lawmakers on Monday in Abuja threatened to quit the PDP if Damagum does not leave office to pave the way for the appointment of a new acting chairman from the North Central, the zone of the suspended national chairman of the party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, reacting via a statement issued and co-signed on Tuesday by the minority leader and leader of the caucus, Kingsley Chinda, Deputy Minority Leader Alima Daiki and Minority Whip Ali Isa, and Deputy Minority Whip George Ozodenobi. The lawmakers described the Ikenga Ogochinyere-led coalition as a body unknown to the parliament. And rising from the meeting of its stakeholders, the Nigeria Labour Congress on Monday voided the National Convention that returned the National Chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, and his National Working Committee to fill the vacuum. The stakeholders said the Congress would set up a transition committee to oversee the affairs of the party pending when new officers will be elected in 3 months. The resolution taken by the Unionists on Monday also raised concerns on the need to conduct a forensic audit of LP bank accounts, in line with the demand of its presidential candidate Peter Obi following allegations of corruption, forgery, and fraud leveled against the leadership of the party. The grand unveiling of Progressive magazine has captivated the nation, promising a fresh perspective on issues impacting the youth and the progressives movement. The event, which took place in Abuja, has in attendance different dignitaries from all over Nigeria. Liberty News correspondent completes the story.
The grand unveiling of the Progressives magazine took place on Monday in Abuja at the Youth Campaign House. Attendees gathered at the venue in eager anticipation of witnessing the debut of this highly anticipated publication. The editor of the magazine, Idris Jibril, delivered a stirring address highlighting the vision and mission behind this groundbreaking publication.
We came up with this initiative just to add value to what the APC family is doing. We don't really need an appointment to tell your story. You can tell your story without the appointment. And this is a call to action for all of us. A lot of opportunities are bound where we need to think deep. To have deeper roots, you must go deeper. So we need to think deep to come up with initiative that will sell the party or sell the government.
The Minister of State for Youth, Ayodele Olowande, also took the stage, emphasizing the importance of empowering young people through similar platforms.
Fine, we find ourselves in the midst of some funny things, but I'm very sure that we'll get over it. If you like to show, show. If you like to put biz, biz. If you want to double it, show biz, do show biz. Just for the success of this administration.
The mandate secretary also reiterated the party's commitment to supporting initiatives that promote youth engagement and empowerment. Additionally, an award ceremony honored the deserving recipients for their contributions to the progressive movement.
Don't take this work lightly, because you are documenting, archiving, and promoting the renewed hope agenda. And this, we have to push it to the nooks and crannies.
I got the message that I am being shortlisted as part of the 100 most influential progressives. That is those who have contributed immensely to the emergence of our president and the establishment of this government in 2023. In the whole country, selecting 100 and I'm being part of it, I think is an honor, is a privilege.
The event was a resounding success, with attendees expressing excitement and enthusiasm for the future of Progressives magazine and its potential to inspire and inform the nation's youth. In Abuja, Selma Ibrahim, Liberty News.
In a major victory against cybercrime, the Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center apprehended one Muhammad Zainabdin and seized $100,000 in suspected counterfeit U.S. currency. Acting on intelligence, operatives raided a hideout in Gariki 2, Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and while other gang members escaped, Zainabdin was arrested. A search warrant uncovered counterfeit detection equipment, international passports, mobile phones, a luxury vehicle, and the fake bills. Zainabdin reportedly confessed and provided information to help apprehend other gang members. He, along with any accomplices, will face arraignment upon investigation's conclusion, according to the police. Inspector General of Police Kaede Adeolu Ebetokun commended the effort and issued a strong warning to cybercriminals, urging them to stop their illegal activities or face legal repercussions. And Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris has stated that the distribution of grains is part of a comprehensive intervention program the federal government is implementing to cushion the effects in the land or hardship in the land and revamp the Nigerian economy for sustainable development and prosperity for all citizens. Idris spoke during the flag-off of the release of 42,000 metric tons MT of assorted food commodities from the National Strategic Food Reserve (NSFR) across the country to vulnerable Nigerians to cushion the effect of the rising cost of food commodities. The event was held on Sunday, 6 April 2024 at the Government House, Sokoto, in Sokoto State, Nigeria. And the minister said President Tinubu is concerned about rising food prices and is determined to make essential food available and affordable for Nigerians, which is why he approved the distribution of 42,000 metric tons of assorted grains to Nigerians. Speaking at the event, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, said the president is desirous of cushioning the effect of the rising cost of food commodities by ensuring a sustained buffer stock as provided by the Nigerian Food Storage Policy. And Nigerians continue to react over the incessant inflation affecting the economy. The prices of food and other commodities have refused to react to the positive change recorded in the value of Naira to the dollar in the last few weeks. Liberty News correspondent San Magaja Muhammad now reports.
Many Nigerians had anticipated a drop in the prices of food and other commodities following the steady appreciation in the value of Naira. However, prices have remained adamant to the rise in the value of Naira. Business owners and residents alike express divergent views on the increase in price of commodities despite the drop in the exchange rate. A trader said the rise in price does not have anything to do with the dollar, but instead the government should devise ways to tackle inflation and insecurity. They call on the government to set up a task force to enforce price regulation in order to ease the hardship Nigerians are facing and also to improve security. San Magaj Mohammed, Liberty News, Kaduna.
The World Health Organization has issued a stark warning about the rising death toll from hepatitis. New data reveals over 3,500 people die globally each day from the disease or infection, solidifying it as the second largest infectious killer. This alarming trend comes from a World Health Organization report released during the World Hepatitis Summit in Portugal. The reports highlight a significant increase in deaths from viral disease, jumping from 1.1 million in 2019 to 1.3 million in 2022. The report breaks down the deaths further, with 83% attributed to hepatitis B and 17% to C. However, despite the availability of effective and affordable generic treatment, access remains a major problem, while the report acknowledges a slight decrease in the overall rate of new infections. The rise in that toll underscores the urgency for increased access to treatment and prevention strategies. The World Health Organization is calling for swift action to curb this growing health crisis. And a fire has ripped through the popular Dosumu market on Lagos Island, marking the second blaze at the market in just 1 month. And the National Emergency Management Agency confirmed the fire on Tuesday afternoon. Emergency responders, including firefighters, have been deployed to control the inferno. The extent of the damage remains unclear at this time. This incident comes on the heels of another fire at Dosumu Market in March, where 4 buildings were destroyed. Just yesterday, a separate fire tore through a 3-story building in the Balogun Market. Authorities are investigating the cause of the Dosumu Market fire. This latest incident highlights concerns about fire safety in Lagos Market and the need for stricter regulations and preventative measures. And with this, we'll go on a short break. You can also watch us live on our social media platforms: YouTube, Liberty TV, Facebook at Liberty TV News, Twitter at Liberty TV News, and Instagram, Liberty TV News. So to come. Discourse blamed TCN for inability to supply 20 hours of electricity or power. South Africa's ex-president Zuma wins court bid to run for election, that's on the foreign scene. And on sports, Nigeria to miss event, a Spanish embassy denies future Eagles visa. Stand by for this and more after this break. join us. It's still Liberty World News at 7 and moving on. 3 electricity distribution companies have blamed Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, for not supplying 20-hour power to customers on Band A feeders amid the recent astronomical tariff increase. Abuja, Benin and Kano electricity distribution companies disclosed this in separate notices. The development comes despite the increase in electricity tariff for Band A electricity customers. Recall that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) approved a tariff increase on Tuesday last week for Band A customers who get at least 20 hours of power supply. NERC said the increase affected only Band A customers getting a 20-hour power supply. However, the discourse on their various social media platforms appealed to the customers in Band A seeking their understanding of their failure to meet the required minimum service level. The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, said the prolonged power outage being experienced in some parts of the Federal Capital Territory was due to a technical fault at the Gwagwalada transmission station owned by the TCN. And the World Bank has raised concerns about sub-Saharan Africa's economic disparity, ranking its second highest globally behind Latin America and the Caribbean. This alarming trend was revealed in the latest Africa's Polls report. The report highlights unequal access to markets and income-generating opportunities, regardless of individual skills. This suggests systemic barriers hindering economic mobility for many in the region. Additionally, the report warns that current tax structures and poorly targeted subsidies might disproportionately burden the poor. To address these issues, the World Bank recommends a multi-pronged approach. They emphasize the need for restored macroeconomic stability, policies promoting intergenerational wealth mobility, and improved market access. Finally, they call for fiscal policies that don't unfairly weigh down low-income populations. And South African courts on Tuesday allowed former President Jacob Zuma to run in May's general elections. We'll bring that later on in the bulletin. Let's take the entertainment just now.
Welcome to entertainment this evening. On entertainment news this evening, we'll tell you Jumoke Aderugu brother drags Funke Akindele over eye service. Brother of the late actress Adejumoke Aderugu has called out actress Funke Akindele for sending her condolences after alleged ignoring her when she needed her help. Aderugu, popularly known as her future in the hit series Jennifer's Diary, died during the weekend over a disclosed ailment while reciting to the dismiss via her comment section of an Instagram post when she needed her help. Aderugu, popularly known as her future in the hit series Jennifer's Diary, died during the weekend over a disclosed ailment while reciting to the dismiss via her comment section of an Instagram post. Funke wrote, "So sad Adewumi Buni, I still ask about her. Omeji, may her soul rest in peace." And our second story too. Kennywood actress Saratu Daso is dead. The news of her dismiss sent shock waves throughout the entertainment industry in Kano State. Her family members said Daso died in her sleep in the early hours of Tuesday after midnight meal before the commencement of the day Ramadan fast Sahur. Daso was a prominent figure in her House of Fame industry over 18 years prior to her illustrious acting career. Saratu served as a dedicated school teacher. The announcement of her passing has left fans and colleagues mourning the loss of a beloved, talented woman. As preparations were underway for her funeral scheduled for this evening, 4 p.m., tribute have been continued to pour in all corners of the entertainment world industry. Despite her success in the film industry, she was a loving wife and mother. Her reliance and dedication to her craft served as an inspiration to many aspiring actors and actresses in the Kennywood industry. The star saw the movie featured Tiwa Savage in her acting alongside over Nollywood actors including Jemima Osode, Mike Afolari, and Andrew Bonite. Water and Gary is an inspiration by Tiwa Savage's second EP song of same title that was released in 2021. In the 5-track EP, the singer explores themes of love, identity, and self-discovery, all of which appear in the anticipated film. A Lot of Water and Gary follow the tale of Aisha, an ambitious fashion designer with building career in the United States. She, however, returns to her native home after 10 years. Following a family bereavement, back at home, things have changed. Violence escalated while tension is high everywhere. As Aisha reconnects with her family, she must learn to live with her scar and confront the guilt she left behind. And that is how we wrap it on Siemens News this evening. I am Victoria Abe. Thank you. And today is the last day of the Ramadan, I guess. So tomorrow will be good for celebration. Okay, fine. I think I have where to go to. Someone is taking me out. So you look for where to go out. Thank you and good evening.
A South African court on Tuesday allowed former President Jacob Zuma to run in May's general elections, overturning an earlier decision by electoral authorities barring him over a previous conviction. The electoral court ruled in favor of Zuma, 81, who is fronting Mkhonto Wesizwe, MK, a new opposition party that has become a dark horse in the election race. It did not provide an explanation of how the verdict was reached. South Africa is to hold general election on May 29 in what is expected to be the most competitive vote since the advent of democracy in 1994. Zuma's ability to run could be a key factor in the election's outcome. Banking on Zuma's popularity, MK is expected to cut well into the vote share of the already embattled ruling African National Congress, ANC. The ex-president's former political home and electoral commission had earlier excluded Zuma from the contest, arguing that the constitution bars anyone convicted of an offense and sentenced to more than 12 months imprisonment from running from office. And Zuma was sentenced to 15 months in jail in June 2021 after refusing to testify to a panel probing financial corruption and cronyism under his presidency. And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said a date is set for a ground offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Netanyahu said the Rafah operation is essential for a complete victory over Hamas. The prospective invasion has alarmed the international community, including the United States, who say that roughly 1.4 million civilians seeking shelter there will be in danger. The U.S. President Biden's administration said that they have not seen Israel's plan but remains opposed. Netanyahu's renewed pledge to invade came as Israeli negotiators were in Cairo discussing international efforts to broker a ceasefire deal with the Hamas. The war, now in its 7th month, has killed more than 33,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children. According to local health authorities, displaced most of the territory's 2.3 million people and left vast swaths of the beleaguered Gaza Strip inhabitable. And up next is international segment and more news on the international scene.
Germany has said Israel's security is at the core of its foreign policy as it defends a genocide case brought against it at the UN's highest court. Nicaragua had accused it of breaching the UN Genocide Convention by sending military hardware to Israel and seizing funding of the UN's aid agency. Berlin rejected the claims at the International Court of Justice (ICJ) in The Hague on Tuesday. In 2023, some 30% of Israel's military equipment purchases came from Germany. The purchases totaled 300 million euros. The allegations build on a separate case taken by South Africa in January, where judges in The Hague ordered Israel to take every possible measures to avoid genocidal acts. A mortar attack in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo has killed 3 soldiers from a Southern African military force. All of those who died were from Tanzania. 3 others were hurt. Hostile missile fire fell near the camp where they were said the South African Development Community (SADC) on Monday. A source has told the media that the attack took place at a base for Tanzanian soldiers in Sake on Saturday. SADC has not confirmed these details or said who was responsible for the attack on its soldiers. The South African Regional Force was invited in by the Congolese government last year to halt worsening insecurity linked to numerous rebel groups vying for control of territory and Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo rich mineral resources. From Djibouti, UN says at least 38 migrants and refugees, including children, have died after their boat sank off the coast of Djibouti, the United Nations Migration Agency has said, after their bodies were recovered. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, said in a post on X on Tuesday that at least 6 others are missing and presumed dead, and that the 22 survivors are being assisted by its representatives. This added nearly 1,000 people who have been recorded to have died or gone missing after embarking on eastern route since 2014, the IOM said. The treacherous journey on the infamous routes take migrants from Ethiopia, Somalia and Djibouti in the Horn of Africa through Yemen to other Arab countries in the region. In the East African country alone, with local officials, the route continues to see an increase in migrant journeys despite the dangers, with people seeking better livelihoods, with larger numbers of women and children traveling alone, according to the IOM. And that's about the size of international news. My name is Andy Ohene.
Future Eagles have pulled out of the forthcoming UEFA Under-16 development tournament after the Spanish embassy denied them a visa to travel for the competition. The Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) announced that teams withdrawal from the competition in a tweet. UEFA Under-16 development tournament is an annual competition featuring 4 national teams. The tournament is focused on the development of young talents. The 2024 edition is billed to be held at the Penater Arena Football Center in San Pedro del Penater, Murcia, Spain. And tonight's UEFA Champions League quarter-finals will go ahead as planned, but under heightened security measures following threat from the extremist group ISIS. ISIS released a message via their media outlet calling for attacks on stadiums hosting the games, including London's Emirates Stadium, Paris Parc des Princes and the Santiago Bernabeu and Metropolitano stadiums in Madrid. The message included a disturbing image with the words "Kill them all." While ISIS has targeted sporting events before, they typically don't announce attacks in advance. However, authorities are taking the threats seriously. UEFA, the governing body of European football, has confirmed their awareness of the threat and is working closely with local authorities at each stadium. Security will be significantly increased, with reports from Spain suggesting over 2,000 police officers will be deployed in Madrid alone. Despite the threat, all 4 matches are scheduled to proceed as planned. And the Nigerian National League (NNL) has taken decisive action against several clubs for violating league rules, aiming to restore order and protect the reputation of the competition. Following a meeting in Abuja, the NNL imposed sanctions including fines, player suspensions and playing matches behind closed doors. Jigawa Golden Stars were fined 1 million naira and their player Muhammad Salim was suspended for the remainder of the 2023-2024 season and the entirety of the 2024-2025 season. Kebbi United faced repercussions after a player, Gabriel Jordan, remained on the field despite a red card. The red card was upheld and Sokoto United, Kebbi United's opponent, will play their next home game without spectators. Thomas FC incurred a series of penalties. Their general manager received a 3-month ban, while the secretary and the lead coach were warned about future misconduct. Oluwatosin Ibrahim was suspended for 10 matches. The club was fined 1 million naira. Osun United were fined 500,000 naira for breaching league rules and an additional 500,000 for fan misconduct. Their secretary was suspended for 2 matches. The NNL's firm stance sends a clear message that unruly behavior and disregard for league regulations will not be tolerated. These actions aim to ensure a fair and competitive environment for all teams in the Nigerian second-tier football league. And up next is weather forecast. We gave you this evening. Federal government deploys apps to monitor ministers' performance. Ganduje to be arraigned in Kano on bribery charges. Discourse blamed TCN for inability to supply 20 hours of power. And under foreign scene, South Africa's ex-president Zuma wins court bid to run for elections. On spot, Nigeria to miss event, Spanish embassy denies future Eagles visa. The news team wishes you a pleasant time as we leave you with this Liberty quote by Robert Collier, who once said, "Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out." Many thanks for joining, and do enjoy the rest of the evening. And Eid al-Fitr I congratulate our Muslim brothers and sisters for the completion of Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr celebration, wishing you all the best in advance.